6 years in Canada, still no PR. So today I want to touch on some of the things I really wish I did differently. This is coming from my own perspective and my own experience. So let's get into it. Before I go any further, or before I get into, the topic of the day, a lot of persons have been reaching out. Thank you guys for being so invested in my journey. I realize that there are still a lot of persons who are still wanting to know what's happening, what's the update with my husband's application. His application was withdrawn. Why? We wish we could have take a wash off, because as we must salt. We must salt because, or I don't know, find some river to take one duck or something, because like I don't understand it. So y'all remember that when I submitted my husband's application, his highest education is high school, and so I really didn't know that his high school education would need to be evaluated. And I did go ahead and pay the fee for the evaluation, got the certificate and everything from the high school that he went back home in Jamaica, and sent it off to West. I wrote a letter of explanation with his application, submitted screenshots that I've paid the fee to West, pretty much explaining to them that the process has started for his high school education to be evaluated, and my hopes is that by the time they are ready to process his application, then it would have been, and I know it would have been done, because West takes 35 days to evaluate diploma or high school education or whatever. So I was thinking that by the time they got to his application, then we're good to go. They would realize and they would just go ahead and process the application pending this one document. So that didn't work out. They withdrew his application and they refunded the fee. So that is that with his application. I want to say that I'm going to start off based on this experience. I'm going to start off by saying that it is so important to get some form of advice, whether it be from an immigration consultant or a lawyer, because I feel like in this process I have been a little bit hard-headed, and I feel like it's a humbling experience, and I feel like the back of my mind I'm like, oh, I know everything, so I don't need help, I don't need assistance from an immigration consultant or a lawyer, because I'm thinking, oh, I can just read and get this done on my own. But it is so easy to miss things when you're doing something like this on your own. It's so easy. And so this comes to the number one thing I wish I did differently from the get-go. It is to seek legal advice. I know that we come here, we spend so much money to the school and to do all the things, and we're thinking, what, it's so expensive to pay a consultant or a lawyer for something that we could attempt to do on our own. But I feel like from the get-go, if I had legal advice, I wouldn't set myself up for my own disappointment, in a sense. A consultant or a lawyer would say, hey, don't submit the application because are going to need the certificate from get-go. A lawyer or consultant would say, in regards to my application, they would say, don't submit it because you're not meeting the median wage. You have not met the median wage, so don't submit it. Or verify with your employee first before you submit the application. Verify with them if they're willing to help you. So I feel like it's so important to get advice, even if it's not legal advice, just someone who has strong knowledge about immigration, because you can save yourself so much unnecessary hurt and so much unnecessary disappointment. Another reason why I think it is a good idea to get legal advice is from the get-go, even prior to submitting an application or anything like that. I really believe that doing a strategy plan with a immigration consultant or a lawyer is a good idea, because had I did something like that, I would know what pathways is beneficial to me or my husband. I would know the steps to take. I would know if this would really work for me or not. So doing at least, even if you know how to do the paperwork, fill out your application, submit your application, if you're somebody like me who feels like you can do this on your own, at least do one consultation, to strategize what the plan is. Number two thing I wished I did differently is When I made the decision to migrate to Canada, I made the decision solely on the fact that I had friends and family here. I did not I didn't think about it on a strategic level to say that I need to find somewhere in Canada where, you know, tuition is cheaper, cost of living is cheaper. I mean, in Ontario, I did do my research, on, you know, cost of living and all of that stuff. But the bigger picture should have been, where can I get my permanent residency fastest? What province can I move to that would give me, you know, a faster result? That should have been the bigger picture, but it really wasn't. To be honest, at the time, it was more like, oh, my friends and family is here in Ontario, so this is where I'm gonna go. And that was the wrong. That, not that it's wrong, but that was. My eyes needed to be on the bigger prize, which is the permanent residency. Because at the end of the day, I could have gone somewhere else, and then maybe after a few years, I could move it back here to Ontario. So after analyzing my situation, there are so many other provinces that I could have gone to where I could have spent way less for tuition, I could have spent way less for rent, for life on a whole. And based on my experience and the skills and whatever I have, I could have already been a permanent resident. So, word to the wise, if you're planning to move to Canada in the future, think about those stuff. Think about the province that's going to help you to achieve this goal the fastest, because that's one of the biggest mistakes I made. Um, do your research. It's so important to do your research and factor in all these things when you're doing your research. The fact is, I cannot, in my position now, I cannot think about the what ifs, but I am here in Ontario, and the fact that I'm here in Ontario, there's so many things that I could have done differently. For instance, as it relates to a job or my job, it is so important to ensure that the job that you're taking is willing to assist you with your paperwork. If it could be that you've even met the median wage, and you're working full time and all of that, but some companies still will not fill out the employee form. So you have to verify all of this from the get go. And this actually goes for every province, not just Ontario. If you're in a job, you want to ensure that while negotiating, you are sure that this job is willing to assist you with necessary paperwork. Um, Unfortunately, that was one of the reasons why my application did not fall through. I did not meet the median wage, and unfortunately, the company I work with, they were not able to facilitate this. They were very helpful in filling out the paperwork, the employee form, and all of that. However, assisting me with the median wage it would have been just way beyond the scope of what they could do for me. Another thing I wish I did differently, I have said this before in another video. I wish I didn't do I wish I didn't do a business course. I really wish I did something in healthcare. I I know there has been a lot of changes lately, but prior to the changes, we know for a fact that healthcare was always in demand, even before all the changes um, took place. We know this. So I feel like I should have done something that was, I'm so sure that is in demand. No, there's absolutely no doubt that if I go to school for this, I'm going to secure a job in this area. So doing business was coming from a place of passion more than a place of strategy. I need to do a course that's going to help me to secure a job, that's going to help me to secure being a permanent resident. There's a lot of persons who are permanent residents who has done the same course as me, but because things have become so tight, you have to be strategic with the courses that you choose when you go to college. All in all, this experience has been quite a journey so far. I am still on that path. I want to tell you, read, guys, read, read, read. Arm yourself with information. Humble yourself, as I am humbling myself. Seek advice, and I don't know, just be strategic because it's only gonna get harder. At least that's what I think. It's only gonna get harder. So I hope this video provided some insight. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please share, guys, and please subscribe to my YouTube. I would truly appreciate it, guys. Don't just watch and click off. Share and subscribe, guys. It costs nothing to subscribe to my channel. If you like my content, subscribe, share, click the like button. Thank you so much, guys.